Good morning, Terraria players, and welcome to the Spooky Mod, a mod themed all around Halloween and its spooky contents. It's a pretty high quality mod that includes several new bosses, new biomes, and more. I am Bladeburger, your local. At the beginning of my upkeep, I hit the gritty kind of guy, and welcome to the video. In this one, I'll be doing the entire Spooky Mod in one video. All mods used are in the description. I will note that I have several features of Quality of Life Compendium disabled. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Now, let's begin. Starting off, I created a large expert mode world with a new character who I named Spooky Sam. I spawned one of the many new biomes, the Spooky Forest. Chopping down trees gave me old wood, a very nice looking wood type. As usual, I made some shoeboxes for my NPCs and made some old wood armor. It acted the same as normal wood armor, just with an aesthetic change. No need to get overcomplicated. In this run, I decided to go ranged, and I needed a bow. I descended into the chasm that was conveniently located right next to my shoeboxes, where the underground spooky forest awaited me. Down in the depths, I found mossy stone, something I needed for my first ranged weapon. I also found a new enemy, a giant fuzzbat. Found is it's a pretty good word to use here. When I returned to the surface, clearly unscathed and didn't get killed by it, I started to explore. Not too far to the right, I found a small house with my new best friend, Lil Bone. I will protect him with every fiber of my being. Get away from him, God, I'm watching you. I then crafted the old moss bow, the first ranged weapon of this playthrough. I also made a bunch of mossy arrows to go with it that had a chance to stick and shatter on impact. Back into the depths I go, and I discovered a locked chest, which needed a key to unlock, which I would get later. Upon returning to the surface forcefully, I made an old wood slingshot, one of 3 slingshots in this mod. It was a charge-to-fire ranged weapon that used mossy pebbles as ammo. It wasn't very good, but the one later on gets better. I was dying a decent bit, so I looked for summon weapons to aid me in exploration. Never mind. Returning to the depths, I finally found my first life crystal, then a few more afterwards. Inside a spooky forest version of a mushroom biome, I found a cloud in a bottle. Double jump acquired. I was also able to get a summon item from a zomboid sorcerer. It summoned a little dude that attacked enemies. Surprisingly strong for such a small dude. To speed up progression like the nasty progression skipper I am, I bombed a Crimson Heart to enable goblin armies and get myself an Undertaker. Back on the surface, luck blessed me with a 0.5% drop chance when breaking pumpkins, dropping the magical pumpkin seed pet. I would never take it off. Not too long after, a goblin army invaded, as I intended. It was a hard-fought battle. I was then able to set up magic storage, since I have found an extractinator previously. I then bought a mini shark because I'm a total scumbag metaslave. When exploring, a zomboid sorcerer dropped a witch's cloak, which buffed my movement speed by 15%. Say no more, I'll take it. I then made pumpkin armor. I mean, come on, it's a Halloween mod, I have to get pumpkin armor at least once. It was then time for the first boss. I only had a double jump, no hook, and no boots. Screw it, we ball. It was time for King Slime. Vanilla fights will be sped up in this video so it isn't 3 hours long. With the King Slime defeated, he unfortunately did not drop his hook. He also didn't for the next 8 fights. After farming, the Goblin Tinkerer showed up. I most definitely disabled that feature in Quality of Life Compendium, but you know what, I'll take it. While exploring the left side of the world, I found a new biome, the Haunted Cemetery past the jungle. Underneath it was the Catacombs, a spooky dungeon with several layers. I would explore it later as I needed to defeat a boss to unlock it. There were some crates scattered in the Haunted Cemetery and I got Sailfish boots from them, so I was able to upgrade straight to Lightning Greaves. Yes, Frostbark boots, I know. Let me make references. Up next is a build montage. As usual, I built for 3 hours straight pretty much using the old wood found in the spooky forest. Let's commence a montage. With the house done, I returned to the mines, seeking gold for gold armor. The spooky forest was very bountiful in ore, so it didn't take that long. After getting more life crystals because I am an instant elevator user like a little bastard, I did the same to the stone biome and was able to find a blizzard in a bottle. When I returned to the surface, ready for the Eye of Cthulhu, he had the audacity to spawn on me. So rude. He went down without much trouble, and now I had the Shield of Cthulhu, a very strong early game accessory that I would use until Master Ninja Gear. To continue with the boss rush nonsense, I took on the first spooky mod boss, the Rotgord, whose summon item is found by smashing pumpkins in the spooky forest. Since it's a modded boss, this fight will not be sped up like the vanilla ones. Enjoy the fight. Rotgord down. Its treasure bag contained materials for weapons, a key for the underground chest that I had found earlier, and its expert mode item. Wanna know what it does? Flies. That is all. With the Rotgord's guts, I made a slingshot from them. It's a slingshot, it wasn't too good. The next one is much better though. Inside the chest underground, they contain new weapons and a few early game materials. Didn't find any ranger things from it, so nothing for me. Sad. I then remembered that other weapons exist besides the mini shark, and the Brain of Cthulhu was up next. You know how that goes. Tented bow. Jester arrows, brain dead, hit the greedy, crimson armor, easy. I then made the EMF reader, the summon for the next spooky mod boss, the Spooky Spirit. He was summoned at the weird statue inside the haunted cemetery. I swapped around my double jump tools, made an artificial mushroom biome, then got to work. Spooky Spirit was next, and so it shall fall. Spooky spirit down. It dropped a key to open the catacombs, and a weapon from its treasure bag, as well as an armor set. Its expert mode item gave 15% movement speed and created homing spirits when damaged. I honestly never took it off. The slingshot was extremely bouncy and actually worked really well in comparison to the previous ones. The armor set, the Spirit Horseman armor, turned your head into a summon turret. Me likey. It was then time to explore the catacombs' first layer. I'll roll the footage for just a bit. At the bottom of the first layer of the catacombs, there was a big flower. I didn't have the brick to wake it up, no, I'm not joking, so the catacombs was over for me for now. A meteorite had landed at some point, so I mined it and made meteorite bullets. I'm a ranger, it's what I do. Exploring the jungle, I found a boomstick, then decided to fight the queen bee. I used a spooky slingshot to great effect. The multiple bounces allowed it to impact multiple times and deal a lot of damage, so the queen bee fell without much trouble. Afterwards, I went to hell, exploring to the left until I found the Valley of Eyes biome. And now, the eye puns begin. Oh my dear pupils, let's explore this valley. It was a cool biome that conjunctivated with the underworld. Such a vitreous biome. What an immaculate biome. I enjoy this biome. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Eye puns aside, I found a small hut that had my new best friend, Lil Eye, inside. The urge to make a pun here is immaculate. I already did that one. Little Eye had quests to do. Get some materials, make a flask, and turn it into him to get meat that will let me open chests scattered around the valley. The first one had a whip. I then made the second flask and turned it in. He gave me his hat and some more meat. Yes, Little Eye, give me your monster meat. I like your large monster. My lawyers have advised me to not finish this joke. Anyways, the second chest monster gave me an axe. Upon completion of the third flask, I was given an oversized cotton swab, a summon item for the next boss. In the third chest, still no ranger item. Boss time then. The next boss was Moko, summoned at the nose statue in the Valley of Eyes. Now let me Google some nose puns, hold on. Moko down. If I had a nickel for every mod I've played on this channel with a nose boss, I'd have 2 nickels. It isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Moko dropped a sentient heart upon death, which could be mixed in Little Eye's cauldron to make weapon upgrades for rare weapons. I set my sights on the easiest to get and planned ahead. I'd totally have an easy time getting it. Right? Right? Moko's expert mode item made snot, and after making enough snot, your weapon shot snot for a short time. It's not something I'd use, even though I should've. The next stage of progression requires Skeletron, so to the dungeon I went. Thankfully I had the force snot to make a mushroom biome there for a pylon. Skeletron is still a fun fight even after being unchanged since expert mode was first added. It's a timeless fight that is still enjoyable even after 100 kills. He's dead. Dungeon. Handgun. Out of there. Hellstone mining. Phoenix blaster. Profit. With hell materials, I made the final flask for pre-hard mode for Little Eye. His quest for this one gave me a pylon for him that didn't require any additional NPCs to be near. How nice. I also got more Schmeat, and the final chest had the ranger weapon, the Seer. It shot blood, and every 10 shots, homing eyes. No more eye puns, they're sclerable. I made the Necro armor, and then it was time for the Wall of Flesh. Quality of Life Compendium has a summon item crafted from the guide Voodoo Doll, so I used that. I won't speed up this fight because it's such a pivotal fight, so enjoy. Wall down. Time for hard mode. I got the Demon Heart and the Melee Emblem, which was unacceptable. Simply awful. A tragic day for my American brothers and sisters. Much better. Gun Emblem. Since it's hard mode, the usual progression of hard mode ores. Smash altars, get Cobalt, Orichalcum, and Adamantite, ignore both Cobalt and Adamantite, and go for Orichalcum Arbor. I also made Crystal Bullets because Ranger. For wings, I always tend to go Fairy Wings most of the time. Better than a few other alternatives this early in hard mode, and very little time investment or farming. They're just good. I also made Frog Gear. I then set my sights on the sentient heart weapon I chose to go for, the Gator Gun, which required the Gatligator, which was sold by the traveling merchant. Surely it wouldn't take 3 hours, right? It won't take 3 hours? It did. It took 3 hours and he still wouldn't sell one. Note that I was sleeping during his spawn window to speed up time, then skipping to the next day once his window went away. Rinse and repeat for 3 hours. After the 3 hours, he finally sold it. Blessed be my RNG in this Ranger playthrough. Not. Gator Gun time. It acted like the Gatligator, but shot faster and occasionally shot gore. I then made a brick. It woke up flowers. Yes, this is Terraria. The next boss for Spooky Mod, Daffodil, was at the bottom of Layer 1 in the Catacombs. He took a few tries, but in the end I got him down. When he went down, he dropped a key for the second layer of the catacombs, so naturally I went down, of course. Inside the second layer was much more deadly, with flower enemies and boulder traps, Terraria players' worst enemies, boulders. In the center of the second layer, there was a room with Pandora's box in the center. Oh boy, let's open it! The enemies from this mini-event dropped a bunch of accessories which could combine into a mega accessory later if I had gotten the final piece. I never did. When returning to my home, I opened Daffodil's treasure bag. Its expert mode item made a ring of flowers that would take a hit for you, but regenerated after 1 minute. It also dropped the fly shot. You know what it did? Flies. Wow. Now for the fun part, shredding the mechs. In runs where there are no bosses between each mech, I like to do them all in one night. Haha, it's montage time. Easy peasy. Imagine struggling on the mechs. With the mechs down, I made hollowed armor and the pickaxe axe. With one of each mech souls in hand, it was time to return to Little Eye and complete his final quest. He gave me the acidic concoction, a summon item for the next event as well as the next boss. The event was the Egg Incursion, a wave-based event that kept getting harder as it went on. No match for the Gator Gun though. When the incursion was defeated, the egg was available for me to violate. I upgraded to Chlorophyte Bullets and challenged the boss within the egg, Oroboro. The Gator Gun claims another victim, this time Oro and Boro. Inside his treasure bag, their expert mode item allowed for a revive once every 10 minutes, but during said cooldown you gain damage and crit chance bonuses. Probably should have used this honestly. I also got a neat ranger weapon, the ICU rocket launcher. It tracked pretty aggressively. They also dropped the material to upgrade the chest monster weapons and make a new armor set, so I upgraded the Seer into the Living Seer and made the Goremonger armor, whose set bonus allowed you to block a hit once a minute. With Ouroboros down, it was time for Plan Terra. Making arena takes too long, but you gotta do it. Boss rush time, Plan Terra and Golem. To be honest, the Gator Gun was just too good to stop using, so both bosses went down without much trouble to it. On death, the Golem dropped the final key to the Catacombs' third layer, where the final spooky boss lay. I crafted the Destroyer emblem and Terra Spark boost to get some upgrades. I also went into the dungeon for Master Ninja gear. With that upgrade nailed down, I then needed new wings. Pumpkin Moon time so I can get spooky wings. You have to in the Spooky mod. I then hunted for Life Fruit and killed Duke Fishron to get his wings. Clearly got the wings first try. No shenanigans here, nope. I also got the Tsunami Bow first try too, so I took my mushrooms that I had been passively gathering all run and made Shroomite armor, the arrow version. It was then time for the final boss of the Spooky mod, Big Bone in the final layer of the Catacombs. Big Bone was boned. His expert mode item made homing skulls as you ran or flew that did quite a bit of damage. He also dropped the Flower Shot, a bow that slightly homed on enemies so you could right click to shoot a bigger flower that debuff enemies, assuming you hit. It did move kinda slow. It was then time to finish this run of the Spooky mod. The cultists fell without much trouble, but the pillars proved to be as annoying as usual. I got the remaining life fruit, then took down the rest of the pillars. I crafted the Phantasm Bow, then challenged the Moon Lord. It had been a while since I last fought Mooney, so I lost a few times. I then turned to Old Reliable Gun, the American classic, and now the uncut Moon Lord fight where I make zero mistakes and do the fight absolutely perfect with zero trouble. Enjoy. and the Moon Lord was down. Gun beats all. With his drops in tow, I made the Vortex armor, the Vortex booster, and got the SDMG. And with that, the run is complete. In total, this run took 17 hours, with most of that being me goofing off and waiting for the traveling merchant. I only had 23 deaths total, which is actually kind of low for me. The Spooky mod was a very great mod to play, with very high quality bosses, weapons, and cool armors to add a lot of spooky goodness to Terraria. I'll try to make it a yearly tradition of doing this mod every Halloween because why not? I look forward to any updates this mod has, and hopes its quality gets even higher than it already is. Need a burger weapon to make it better though. If you enjoyed the video, let me know if you want me to do more long-form Terraria videos. I'm always open to doing more content like this, as this video is practice for other long-form videos coming in the future. Suggest mods you'd like to see down below. I do read all comments. Thank you all for coming and watching. Join my Discord, become a member. See you all on the next one. Blade Burger out!